Okay, let's do this.
Mark and his team are pulling out all the stops. Every morning, they treat their cattle to a shower of fresh straw, just like today.
The animals love it for sure. The fresh bedding makes them feel good.
Farm manager Mark Junglas has a tricky job: to make sure his 100 cattle live in optimal conditions until they're slaughtered.
Ganz wichtig ist halt für uns das Tierwohl, ne? Also
animal welfare is really important to us. We aim to ensure the animals on this farm have the best possible life. Our view is, if we want to eat meat, then at least the animals should have had a good life until they have to die. The straw bedding is an extra luxury. Then there's the feed we make ourselves. We barely give them any concentrates. Then there are massage brushes, huge amounts of space. You can see how much space the animals have here.
But organic cattle farming here is expensive, and Mark's farm is currently running at a loss.
I know people who always say, "Young man, you know what? Forget it." And for that reason alone, I want to prove it's possible. We've got an investor pouring a great deal of money into the business. We're still in the red, I can definitely say that. Of course, we want to change that.
We're going to observe Mark for a year. Will he succeed in hauling the higher animal welfare startup out of the red? Encourage more people to buy organic meat with recipes and online campaigns, despite challenging market conditions?
Things aren't progressing, I'll be honest, things aren't progressing. A lot of work, a lot of forward thinking, launching plenty of innovative ideas. Then things will have to improve.
But if things go wrong, you don't have a secret exit plan yet?
No, not at the moment. To be honest, there's no plan B. Black cow's limping a bit. We'll need to keep an eye on that.
It's spring, and today Mark and his colleague are running a health check on their cattle. They'll be put out to pasture in 3 weeks' time. During the winter months, the Aubrac cows stay in the barn, where they have around twice as much space to move around in than in conventional husbandry.
More space does of course mean fewer animals on the same surface area. And then of course, if you're keeping fewer animals, your revenues will be lower. Relatively simple, really.
Stöcken Farm, with its 100 hectares of pasture land, is in the remote Siegerland region. An attempt to sell the organic meat in a farm shop didn't work out. Now, Mark's trying out some new ideas with his online team.
That's also a major goal of ours, to really develop the online shop, generate some publicity, attracting new customers.
Mark produces his own social media clips to promote his meat-based recipes. Today, a marketing expert is here to gauge the impact of Mark's videos on sales.
Shall we get started?
Yes, let's have a look.
So I've had a look at this. Here, for example, on March 19th, we had a day with 9 purchases. We can link directly to Facebook and Instagram. And now on the 22nd, the day before yesterday, it was 8 in one day.
Genau. Wir sind damit derzeit noch nicht wahnsinnig zufrieden, muss ich ehrlich sagen. Es gestaltet sich.
We're not that pleased with it at the moment, I'll be honest. It's difficult. But of course, it's a tricky time for organic food in general. Everyone knows people are saving. Everything's getting more expensive. And that doesn't make it any easier. We've got around 20,000 customers visiting the site every month.
Aber wir wollen schon gerne so.
But by the time we meet up again in 6 months' time, we'd like it to be 50,000. That's the goal.
More than twice as many.
Yes, that's one goal. Let's talk next week then. Next week we'll get new videos for Nino to edit quickly.
That's great. Take care till then. Ciao, ciao.
So for Mark and his team, that means film even more videos to get more customers visiting the website.
Einen wunderschönen guten Morgen zum Erklärbauer-Dienstag. Heute mit unserem großen Thema Gold in Form von Nährstoffen für unseren Boden, und zwar unseren Mist. Und den fahren wir dann einmal im Jahr wieder raus auf die Weide und dann, wenn ich als
If I'm perceived as the marketing figure for Stecken Farm, I'm okay with that, because I'm representing something good. But I wouldn't describe myself as a marketing figure, because after all, I'm actually doing it.
Sales figures in the fall will show whether or not Mark's videos have been a success. Mark's commitment to animals and their welfare is down to his background.
I grew up with animals. All my life, we always had animals. Dogs, horses, guinea pigs, whatever. Yes, when I look at this picture, it's a reminder of a very happy childhood. Here's a holiday picture. We're on a farm. It was always in the Allgäu. There were dairy cows mainly. And in the mornings, I was always the first up, even before the farmers, because I was so keen to get to the cowshed.
At the age of 16, Mark chose an apprenticeship.
It was my dad's idea. He suggested I try butchery. If it's not for you, he said, at least you've learned something. I lacked direction. I was hanging out with the skateboarders when I was 16. I thought it wasn't a bad idea. Rather than just messing around for another 100 years, why not do an apprenticeship? That's how it happened.
And as a butcher's apprentice, Mark also had to kill animals.
The
first animal I shot myself, I can remember. It was a calf, and that was a defining experience for me. It was on the trailer. It came with 2 or 3 other calves, and they were still sucking on my finger during a breakfast break. And then he said, so, come on then, you do it. They don't put up much resistance. And it was sucking on my finger when I fired the bolt gun. That had an effect on me. I knew from then on I'd never touch another calf. I didn't want to do it then, and I still wouldn't do it now, because it's still a baby. It has its whole life ahead of it, and you're already taking that away. It hasn't lived. I just think it's not right.
It's evening in late March. Mark wants to check on the cows. Many of them are pregnant. Some are about to give birth.
If it does happen, it'll be overnight or this evening. All the animals need to calm down first. When they've relaxed a bit, that's when it usually happens, when the stable's quiet again. Let's have a look.
Here, the births aren't precisely planned or induced by humans. So far this year, around 20 Aubrac calves have been born, one after the other. Mark estimates there'll be another 20 born this spring. Does that mean these cows are very independent?
It depends on the breed. They're described as easy calvers, which means they don't need much help.
And they really only give birth at night?
Yes, mostly. Last year, for example, only one of our calves came during the day, and all the rest at night. Then you come here in the morning and they're usually already jumping around. They're just more relaxed at night. The overall atmosphere in the barn is conducive to birthing because it's a safe place. It's just like in nature. They try and birth their calves in a protected environment.
Hi, Fritzchen.
Hi, Fritzchen. You're my friend, Fritzchen, aren't you?
Will we get to witness a birth? So far, things have been quiet.
If I'm being totally honest, I reckon it'll be tricky. Because if they notice someone's presence, then they might think, not today. There's a stranger here. Who knows?
2 days later, it happened. 3 new calves are born the previous night, as ever, without any human intervention. But there is one thing the farmer has to do.
Hallo, kleiner Pupsi.
Hi, little Poopsie. It hurts a bit. But since the mad cow crisis, every animal has to have an identification number attached to its ears.
The calves will grow up alongside their mothers, drinking their milk, and later they can go with them out onto the pasture.
We also think it's just right that the calves are allowed to grow up with their mothers, because that's the way nature intended it to be. And that's really important to me, that it simply happens the way it's meant to.
Here, the animals live a species-appropriate life. But Mark knows how different it can be. After his butchery apprenticeship and training as a food technician, he worked for a seasoning manufacturer with big slaughterhouses among its customers. He's watching videos that remind him of his past life.
Yes, that's exactly what I experienced. I've seen many big meat companies, the production conditions, the employees that work there, the masses that are chucked into something and what comes out the other end. And at some point I thought, okay, these are actually all animals. You just can't do this anymore, it's just not right.
You worked there for 3 years and then you said, I quit.
Yes, it was a quick decision.
Mark quit in 2012 and turned his back on the conventional meat industry. He trained to become a professional hunter, working mainly in the forest for 3 years.
Spending so much time in nature helped me to develop a sense of it. How does it even work? The seasons, the times when animals grow and give birth. I never really bothered to think about it before.
Keeping in step with nature. On the farm, that means after 4 months in the barn, the cattle are finally allowed back on the pasture. Today's the big day. First up are the mothers and their calves. What are we looking out for?
Whether the cows want to go or not. That's what matters in the end. Now they're slowly realizing that something's happening.
The little one too.
What about this one?
Let them through.
Okay.
The mothers are initially happy to be going out, and the calves have no idea what's going on. That's why we have to make sure they stay together. Push them through nice and slowly.
The mothers don't need any hurrying along. They're familiar with the pasture. For the calves, today is a first.
The calves have never been outside. They don't understand that it's actually much nicer outside than inside. They always try to return to what they know. That's why they all keep running back to the gate. And if it weren't closed, we'd be here until evening.
Come here. Call them. You've got to call your kids. I reckon it's going to take a bit longer today. The calves aren't getting it at all.
Come on. They're coming on their own now. I'll leave them to it. It's best to leave them in peace and for the mothers to fetch them on their own.
These animals originally came from nature, so nature's actually the best thing for them. Barns and such like are foreign to them. In other words, they're made to be where they are right now. So whoever created them, this is what they were made to do. To stand here eating grass and pooing on it to refertilize the meadow. The grass grows again, a cycle is established. That's why they're here, and that's why we want to try and give them as much time as possible outside, where they belong.
To give the animals a good life for as long as possible. That's Mark's mission. His commitment to appreciating the animals that we eat began at an early age. After working in the meat industry and as a professional hunter, Mark opened the Gläserne Metzgerei in Cologne in 2018.
Ich habe dann gesagt, ja, ich bin Metzger, ich bin Jäger.
I said to myself, okay, I'm a butcher, a hunter, a food technician. Are there any other skills I need to open a butcher shop? I wanted to do things a bit differently. So I hung up the hares, ducks, pheasants, rabbits that I shot myself right next to the counter where the meat was on sale. Some people went crazy and said it was unappetizing. Others thought it was great, and I really enjoyed talking to people about it. I wanted people to make the connection between the animal and the meat they eat. I really wanted that. It was a great success, I'd say. Within a year, I was voted best butcher in Germany. It was great for me, financially, and because of all the media coverage. So yes, it worked out well. And it gave me the confidence to believe in what I'm doing.
His idea, a butcher's shop that underlines the fact that animals die for our meat. It attracted a lot of attention at the time.
6,9 Millionen Klicks.
6.9 million views on Facebook. That's quite a number. Sure, I thought that's really cool. But in the end, it was just that one time.
Mark ran the transparent butcher's shop in a Cologne market hall for 2 years. But the market hall itself wasn't profitable and had to close in early 2020, and Mark's business along with it.
I was in shock. I thought, what am I going to do now? I didn't work for 3 months and I was going stir crazy. I don't know much about burnout or depression or the like, but for sure, for a while I was horizontal on the sofa, not really knowing what to do with myself. I was really struggling, to be honest. It was a tough time. I've only just come out of it, to be honest.
Then, Mark spotted an advertisement for a job at the farm.
I thought, just send off an application and see what happens. So we met up here. It was all very different to how I'd imagined it would be. I thought, yes, this is really cool.
Mark's been working at Stocken Farm for almost 3 years now. Today's a special day. Mark and Chef Christian are developing new organic recipes in the farm kitchens.
At home last night, I was thinking about what we could test today, and I thought of meatballs. All kids love them, and we don't have them in our product line. I reckon we should. I've not had any formal cooking lessons. I'm not a trained chef. This wasn't completely new to me, but in the beginning, when we started here, I was the only person who'd ever done any product development. We didn't have Christian then. It was just me doing it.
How does it feel to be personally responsible for the success or failure of the products?
I give it my all every day with a clear conscience. And to be honest, I don't really think about it retrospectively. This might well be the breakthrough. If I make it as tasty as it can possibly be now, in the end, I'll know whether it's good enough or not. Is that the finished sauce?
That's the sauce.
Is it a barbecue sauce?
I see it more as
It looks like a marinade.
a marinade. I mean, we all taste it. We always say, we'll only produce it once we're all happy with it. We test all the dishes thoroughly in advance. I reckon that'll be full of flavor.
Forget it.
Druck, den gebe ich mir selber.
I put myself under pressure because I've always got very high expectations of myself. In 5 years' time, I'd like to be able to say we've got to the point where we're getting very close to realizing our goal.
It's May. Just like every month, there's a slaughter due. The bulls live for 2 to 3 years here. The cows live longer, as long as they bear calves. The difference is, the animals are slaughtered right here on the farm.
My dad was a butcher himself. We had chickens, they were killed. We had rabbits, they were killed too. Ever since I was a small child, I've seen the animals have to die for meat and sausage, and I witnessed it from a very young age. I was always aware that if we wanted to eat them, animals have to die, wherever they may be. Mousy, not here.
This cow is 6 years old and due to be slaughtered tomorrow.
You don't want to be pet either.
The slaughter method used here is regarded as particularly humane. First, the cow gets used to this special feeding slide over a period of several days.
Man sieht, das hier ist der Fressbügel, der ist jetzt so offen.
So this is the feeding pen. It's open at the moment. She can go straight in to eat and come out again. Tomorrow, when she goes in to feed, it'll close and stay closed. At that point, Martin will come with the bolt gun and shoot the animal, which then collapses here on the slide. It then goes into the machine for the bleeding process.
So that means the cow has no idea that it's about to be slaughtered?
No, not at all. It's just a feeding pen, something familiar, where they're more relaxed. Come here.
Komm her. Hier ist dann noch viel mehr. Guck mal hier. Na, guck
Over
mal.
here.
Ja,
Over here. It's like where you normally
dein
eat.
Fressgitter.
Go to Martin.
After stunning the cow, everything has to happen fast. The slaughter procedure stipulates that the blood vessels must be severed within 60 seconds. The animal bleeds out and is dead within minutes.
Jetzt ist doch schon rum.
It's done.
Then, the trailer travels around 100 meters to the farm's very own butchery. The gentle procedure comes at a price, though.
Also, das ist ja auch ein Riesenaufwand.
It's a huge amount of effort, it must be said. You've got to slaughter 5 or 6 animals a day, cleaning up in between each one. And of course, in terms of what the costs we need to cover, that's reflected in the price.
Are you satisfied?
Ja, klar.
Yes, for sure. Now the weekend can begin. Well, not quite yet. There's still a few things to do.
These procedures are categorized in Germany as level 4 husbandry, the most premium level. But Mark needs new customers. Otherwise, the high costs of producing organic meat won't be covered.
We have an investor who's pouring a lot of money into this future-oriented project. In other words, we're currently spending now for the future.
With the investor, who doesn't want to go on camera, Mark's been discussing a new business idea: hamburger kits. With buns, sauces, and organic meat patties.
Father's Day is approaching. It's always a popular time to barbecue, so it would make sense to create a kind of Father's Day burger box. We plan to promote it together with an influencer, and then I reckon it'll be great.
In Germany, Father's Day falls on a Thursday. The orders don't come in until the weekend before. Mark, Christian and the team now know how many patties they have to make.
We've been a bit taken by surprise over the weekend.
Bei Instagram
A friend and I posted on Instagram yesterday,
so ein paar Insta-Posts gemacht.
and we've been overrun with orders for our Father's Day burger kit.
Burger Vatertagspaket. Und jetzt
Today we've got to put 4,000 burger patties together.
400 boxes, each with 10 burgers, have been ordered for Father's Day. To ensure customers get them on time, Mark and his team must make 4,000 burger patties today. Mark, how's the wrist?
Fine.
It's still working?
Yes, like the best fitness studio.
How many have you done?
I think we've done around 2,000? Maybe a bit more? 2.5? So a bit more than halfway. And finished. Yeah.
The burger boxes still need to be shipped out. To do this, Mark drives to the dispatch center of the investor's software company.
So,
now we're in Buerbach, at our dispatch site. It's a kind of subsidiary in the sense that we can use these premises. Our sauces and ready meals are labeled and dispatched from here. We've definitely got until 3 a.m, but I hope we'll be finished sooner.
Until then, Mark and his team have to pack 400 burger kits. Otherwise, the boxes won't arrive in time. There's no room for error.
Oh, for God's sake. What a disaster. Look, they're half the size. Here we go again.
What's the problem?
We've been sent 2 different sizes of burger bun. We got some new ones in this morning because we ran out. And now these are different. Mark's sorting it out.
Mark discusses the problem with his boss, the investor. What should he do? Use the smaller buns?
The question is, do we just put 3 of them in each box as a nice gesture, essentially giving people 2 extra buns for free? But then, does that leave us enough for today's dispatch? 150 times 5
1,250
divided by 3
divided by 3 equals 416.
Let's pack. Now I'm in a better mood. Otherwise, the day could have been very different. So, we're putting 3 in instead of 2. I'm happy. First and foremost because I know now everyone's going to be able to barbecue their burgers on Father's Day.
The burger boxes are out for delivery. The next day, Mark's taking a break. He's up at 5 a.m. to go hunting. How's it going, Mark?
Good. I'd like to have slept a bit longer because I didn't sleep much over the last 3 days. But hey, now I'm about to head off into nature, relaxation. I'm looking forward to the sunrise. If everything goes perfectly, we'll spot a passing deer, and we can take it for the freezer, which is looking a bit empty. That'd be the perfect day.
His destination, a wooded area on the Moselle River.
For me, it's not an offense to take game from the wild if you're going to fully utilize it in the end. I think it's completely legitimate for me to kill an animal, yes.
When you shoot, do you feel anything for the animal?
When I kill an animal, I feel humility. Because I know I've just taken its life. So that I can live, so to speak. So I live on. There are, of course, those who say that's no longer necessary. That I can be a vegan and still survive. That's one view. I say I can do it. I think it's totally legitimate and okay. Now all we can do is wait. At this time of day, I can really switch off. If I'm sitting at home in the evening, I'm still thinking about work a lot. I'm very impatient, it must be said. Here I can keep the anxiety in check. But at work, It's a disaster. I create most of the stress myself, I reckon. Basically everything in my life, whether it's at home, with my own garden or whatever, I'm the one making it stressful. That could be a buck or something. Pity, it's too far away to shoot.
Two hours have passed. Mark didn't shoot anything today, but at least he's been able to switch off from work for a while. It's July, a few weeks after the Father's Day Burger Kit campaign. Mark's checking the online store's visitor numbers. He hopes they've doubled since spring. 4 months ago in March, there were 20,000 visitors to the site.
We've got 25,000 monthly visitors to the online store.
That's not a huge increase.
Nope.
You had a huge success with the burgers a few weeks back. How's it been going since?
It's been modest. Sure, I thought, brilliant, we're on the right path now. We just need to keep doing what we do. It's like playing the lottery.
September 2023, a new ray of hope. The supermarket chain Rewe wants to cooperate with Stock & Farm as a new regional producer. It's a chance to sell their products in supermarkets. Today, Mark's expecting an important visitor.
Let's go and have a look at our basic stock first.
Rewe coordinator Bettina Müller wants to get to know the farm.
How long do the little ones stay with their mothers?
The whole year, just like in nature.
It's absolutely idyllic here, it really is.
Yes, that's exactly what we want to convey. And that's how it actually is.
And of course, the end products are also key. In consultation with Mark, Rewe had its own experts look at the existing labels.
What are they saying? I haven't had any feedback.
Basically, they say it looks really modern, that it catches the eye, but to be honest, there were questions about the product because they didn't understand it. What does yap mean?
It's a way of arousing curiosity. That was our marketing team's idea.
Generally, and this is the nice thing, these have husbandry level 4, i.e. organic products. And they have to turn the jar around to see that. So please do something about that.
Critical feedback on the labels. But for Mark, this is a golden opportunity to sell to the retail chain. Now he has to convince each and every branch to sell his organic products.
That means another tough acquisition for me. Just because they can order it now, that doesn't mean they have to or want to. Do they order it now, or do I speak to them on the phone to assess their interest and say, we're newly listed with Rewe West. Any chance of including our products?
Will you be changing your labels in response to the feedback from Rewe?
No, I won't be changing it. That'll be somebody else's decision.
A few days later, and Mark has inquired at several Rewe supermarkets about whether they'll stock his products to try things out. The results?
Things aren't progressing. I reckon I've called almost 200 stores and we've secured 16 of them. Not many as an overall percentage, under 10%. Every day, I'm being told, you have to wait, you need more time. And I'm left thinking, how much time do we actually have? I don't have time. I want to progress, and not in a week, or the day after tomorrow, but now.
For some weeks now, Mark's been courting another supermarket chain, and his efforts have paid off. The Globus Markt in Siegen has invited Mark to run a tasting of his organic meat dishes.
So, let's do this. I'm curious to see whether people are up for trying things and, above all, giving us some feedback.
The store's been selling Mark's products for a while, but today is his first direct encounter with customers. Will they like his creations and pay around €5 per jar?
My pleasure. I hope you like it.
The chili con carne is just right. It's got a good heat to it.
Very good. Not too spicy and not too mild. Really very good.
You didn't buy a product today?
No, I don't have money at the moment. I'm still in training. Otherwise, I would have definitely bought one. It's really very good.
Do you want any topping? I didn't ask. Is that okay?
Sometimes you treat yourself to something that does cost a little bit extra, but these aren't products where I'd say, okay, I'd spend money on that.
I'm struggling with the word expensive, because expensive is when bad stuff costs too much money. And that's not the case here, is it? And I'm not saying you should eat it every day either.
After 4 hours of tasting, the store manager stops by.
Hi.
The sales are good.
Very good? Or just good?
For this category, very good. We wouldn't stock it otherwise. The labels are very eye-catching. But the slogans on them, they certainly attract attention. It's going well. So clearly they seem to be doing everything right.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's good to hear. It's about time someone gave some feedback where you think, okay, fantastic. Things are actually working out. Yes, that's cool.
For Mark and Christian, today's been a success. People like their dishes, although not all customers are willing to pay the price. Other Globus supermarkets are also stocking the organic ready meals.
It's going really well in the Siegen store. But we're also supplying other Globus supermarkets where things haven't been as good up until now.
We've been observing Mark for more than 6 months. He and his team have made a great effort to market their organic products as species-appropriate husbandry. Was the startup's online shop successful at least?
Also die Besucherzahlen sind im Gegensatz zu letzten Jahr schon ein bisschen runtergegangen.
So visitor numbers are down a bit on last year. On the other hand, we've had more quality visitors. Turnover has definitely increased by 50% on last year. It's not stagnating, it's going up. But it's just not where I'd like to be this year. It's not. And that's a bit frustrating.
When we started filming 8 months ago, Mark was full of optimism. Now he seems disillusioned.
Darüber würde ich mich mal richtig freuen. Also, dass Leute
I'd be so happy if people would come to me of their own accord and say, honestly, you're doing such amazing things on the farm and we'd love to support you. We think it's great. I always feel like to make that happen, I've got to go knocking on people's doors, sucking up to people, begging like a dog.
mich anschmiegen und so, damit was passiert.
Maybe that's just how it is in business.
Vielleicht ist das auch einfach im Geschäftsleben so.
Do you still see a future for yourself here at Stücken Farm?
Ganz ehrlich, das hängt auch, glaube ich, zu einem gewissen Teil mit daran.
To be honest, I think that depends on whether I can be successful here or not. Because we can't be doing this for fun, it must be said. This is just a really difficult business. But in the worst case scenario, I have to go back to working as a butcher, or I try being self-employed.
Mich selbstständig machen.
At this point, we didn't know that this would be our last day of filming with Mark, and that he didn't want to be on camera anymore. Then a few weeks later, Mark surprises us with the news that he's decided to leave the farm and work for himself. For a while afterwards, we don't hear anything else. In November, we visit the farm again, just before the cattle are returned to their winter quarters in the barn. Mark's not working here anymore. From the investor, his former employer, we hear that the two have parted company by mutual agreement. We also hear from Mark. He's posting burger tastings on social media channels, perhaps pursuing his dream of opening his own organic burger store.
Also, wir testen heute Pommes, Smashburger, einen veganen Burger mit bestem Fleisch, geilsten Buns, saftigsten Soßen. Bitte zum Wollberliner Private Burger Tasting. Dicke Pommes oder dünne Pommes?
And how are things going without Mark at the farm in Siegerland? We meet his successor, a long-time employee of the investor's company, Anna Klein. For the past 3 weeks, she's been tasked with creating new momentum and increasing sales at supermarkets, for example. Mark's burger campaigns haven't gone unnoticed either.
Ja, kam schon sehr plötzlich.
Yes, it was very sudden. I think he did the right thing. He made the break. And he said, okay, I need to do something new for myself. So we all parted company on good terms. He's a very special person. I have to say, lovely, but also chaotic. Even still, it was fun working with him.
Mit ihm zusammenzuarbeiten.
Life at the farm goes on. Anna Klein is now responsible for sales. Martin, just as before, for the cattle and the butchery. And Chef Christian for the kitchen. Mark's departure also took him by surprise.
Yeah, we weren't counting on that. But yes,
How did you react?
it was a shame. I liked working with him. But as I say, you shouldn't hold people back. And if he wants to do something for himself, he should go for it.
Now Christian will be creating new meat products in the kitchen without Mark.
At the moment, I'm doing it on my own with my boss.
Exactly, and it's going really well, in all honesty.
We've always got plenty of ideas we want to try out.
Almost a year has gone by. Mark's mission remains: the best meat with the highest animal welfare. Certainly here at Stucken Farm, and through his new projects elsewhere, Mark will always remain true to his motto.